What's cooking and brewing, cool cats? Welcome to the My Disney podcast.
Oh,
you have
man.
you have your Disney detective Greg and
Your number one host, ghost host, Chris.
he's so good he has to say ghost 4 or 5 times. That's a Greg fact. Whoa, it's been a while for a Greg fact.
Yeah, but your Greg facts are supposed to be like fake.
Oh, okay, so now you say that, hey, Greg fact, so it's true.
You kind of went in and out, so nobody could hear you.
Oh god, really? Oh, it's a Greg fact, so of course it's true.
Okay.
I have faith. Have to have faith in the facts.
Faith in the facts. All right, that sounds like a thing.
That's it. Very true. Very true.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
All right, you guys. So we're gonna have a fun little ranting and raving and
riffing, and
ranting,
filling.
raving, riffing. I was trying to go with an R theme because we went ranting, raving, riffing,
remembering,
huh?
remembering,
rambling.
You like that?
No, that's mesmerizing.
Yeah, it doesn't start with an R. It could be
recapping,
and finally resting.
Huh?
So I will rest.
Yeah, and be reassured that these are our memories, folks.
Yeah.
All right, we're done with that. We'll stop, I promise you guys. All right, so today we're going to kind of just have a little bit of back and forth talking about some of our favorite Disney memories. There are a lot of them, so it's really going to be tough for me to choose. I can't think of all of them. There's way too many.
Okay, sidebar. It seems like this is how you start off with like every one of our list podcasts. Like, oh, it's really tough. I can't really choose. Really hard to choose.
Well, here's the thing.
Disclaimer with that. You always start out with that. I love it. It's so funny.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, eventually I would like us to talk about the resorts, get a little bit into it and stuff like that, but I want to wait until we get back together and then we can actually exchange notes and do some other things. So really right now with the COVID situations, this is really good for our top 5. Because then we want to get back into Marvel, we want to get into some of the other movies and this, a bunch of different things. Because I'm not gonna lie, there have been some pretty sweet things that have come to Disney Plus. That's awesome. Have you seen Pop Culture?
Yes.
I
love Pop Culture. It's great. Awesome. What was your favorite episode?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, of course. I actually skipped that one.
Why?
Because it just didn't do it for me when I watched. Okay, so as you know, I watched Nightmare Before Christmas for the first time like 6 months ago. Didn't do it for me. So when it came on that, I was like, you know what? I'll skip it. My favorite one, I think, was The Chronicles of Narnia. That was pretty cool.
I don't know, folks, but I'm trying here, people. I'm trying hard to make sure that he listens. I mean, watches all of the movies, and like one of them is The Nightmare Before Christmas, and he just doesn't like it, folks. Like anybody who's a fan of Hot Topic does not like you right now.
It's okay. I'm not really a big fan of Hot Topic. Sorry.
Oh Lord.
I prefer Box Lunch. Box Lunch groupie over here.
Did you know Box Lunch is owned by like Hot Topic, right? That's their sister.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, that's
true. Well,
true.
their sister I like better.
Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to just have some fun kind of talking about some of our memories and things like that. I mean, it's not going to be anything, specific. It's not going to be like our saddest Disney memory or our happiest or our worst, or it's going to be a culmination of things. So it could be all those things. It could be none of those things. It could be, I think those are really the only options there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this is just on a whim. We're ad-libbing. We're just building off of each other. This isn't like a really big predetermined episode, but I think one that we have enough stored in our minds to effectively get out to you. And then we also want you guys to share with us what your favorite memories are down in the parks. So please let us know.
See, here's the thing. I feel like people are just like, wait a minute. You didn't plan for this? We did plan, people. We had a plan to do a different topic. And Samantha, our amazing internet manager, media manager, thing like that, guru, and the one who's going to be starting her very own cooking tutorial channel on YouTube.
I'm excited for that.
We actually just started recording. If any of you guys saw the Instagram photo, I am working on that edit right now.
Very
It's going to
nice.
be very good.
Very nice.
But she was not able to make it. My wife was not able to make it because she wanted to do this as well. But little kids have determined that that will not be the case tonight. So,
It's just these two little old Disney dogs going at it.
right? Just us old Disney fans. And
Oh,
for
yeah.
those of you who don't know, this end of this week, so actually the start of next week, if we want to be technical, May 31st, the Disney Ghost host, that is me, is having his 32nd birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Not yet.
Yeah. I am 6 years older than you, Greg.
Wow. Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I don't know if that says
You're-
you. Wait,
You're young at heart. Don't worry. You're young at heart. It was supposed to be a compliment. Just take it like that.
I was going to say, does that mean you look old or I look young?
You look young because I've been told I even look younger than my 27 self. So
Yeah, it's one of those things. But, so why don't we get ahead and get on after it? So, Greg,
I'm going to start this strong.
I don't know how many we got, people. There's no exact list. We're just like Greg said, we're ad-libbing. We're going back and forth. This is going to be very spontaneous.
Yes.
So be warned,
Off the cuff.
there may be some rants and some tangents along the way. But you guys know that from us. This is how me and Greg interact. We just go from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another. That's what we do.
How we operate.
All right, Greg, so what do you got for me? What would you start off with?
So, okay, this one is more of a particular funny memory. When it was happening, when I was witnessing it, it wasn't really funny. It was like, what is going on? So this happened about 4 or 5 years ago. And my family, whenever we would go to Epcot at night, we would always love to see the British Invasion, or I think now it's called the British Revolution Band in the UK Pavilion. So we would always stop there, maybe order some fish and chips at the Yorkshire County Fish and Chip Shop. And then we just sit there, listen to their set, and then we would go on about our night. So we got there a little bit earlier. So we were in the garden, and it was just, benches were open. So we sat down closer to the stage. And so we were just chilling there, waiting for our fish and chips to arrive because my parents were ordering it. And then all of a sudden, this other family comes in. The family is a little bit younger than ours, so the kids were probably like 6 and 4, and they were from Spain. At least I think that they were from Spain, just because they were speaking Spanish. And so the kids were a little rambunctious. They were running around within the hedges and the maze of the garden, which is nice and cute and all. And then the parents, they were sort of tending to their infant in a stroller, okay? And then all of a sudden, like the kids were laughing. The older one was a girl, who's, again, about 6 or 7. And then the younger one was about, 4 or 5. And that was a boy. They were giggling throughout the maze. And then all of a sudden, dead quiet. I was like, what's going on? So I look up because I was probably looking at like a Disney map or something. And then not probably 10 feet away from me was the boy. And he was just staying there like this, completely silent. He looked like he was in pain. And I was like, what is going on?
Oh, I think I see where this is going.
And then his sister was a little bit off to the side, and she's like, oh no. Like she was getting a little bit, I don't know, just a little worried. And so she started running to get to her parents. And then the kid all of a sudden rips this huge fart. I'm talking like it echoed. It was that loud. And that startled myself. I was like, whoa, I did not know that little body could create something that sounded like a foghorn.
Yeah.
And then I looked down.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Along his well, he was wearing shorts, so along his legs was like around. It just, yeah. And again, he was to the age where he wasn't wearing a diaper, so I think he just couldn't hold it in any longer, or it was just so painful he had to let it out, and maybe something else came with the fart. So All of a sudden, I'm just standing there, and then the dad comes running over, picks him up, and he like just army carries the guy, probably to the most to the closest rest stop, and just leaving my family and I were like, what just happened? I was not expecting that. From like a nice playful beginning to all of a sudden, okay, he crapped his pants and we need to go. And safe to say, that ruined my appetite. So I could not eat for probably another hour and a half after that. But looking back, it was so funny.
Ooh, that's awful.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Ew.
So that's we're starting off strong. Starting off strong with that story, I gotta say. How can you top that? How can you top that, Chris?
I can't. All right, guys, that
Okay,
was a
we're
good
done.
episode. You guys have a nice
Great
one.
timing.
Yeah, this is the shortest we've ever gone. Well, it was been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. I'm just kidding. People thought I was probably getting there too. No. So I guess I'll start off with one of my Disney memories. I'm trying to think there. So I guess I'll start off with this one. So when I was a kid, and still to this day, I hate spiders so much. They're just awful. Just awful. Like when God created the earth, he let Satan create spiders. Oh my God, spiders are so disgusting. I hate them so much.
I don't really mind them. Snakes I can't stand, but spiders are okay.
Oh my God, I'll take a snake over a spider any day.
Okay, well, I actually have a bunch of snakes over here. You want to trade for your spiders?
Well, I don't have spiders, so.
You don't have spiders? I'm sure there's one crawling in a nook or cranny over there behind you.
Dude, there was a statistic, actually, that if all the spiders on the planet actually wanted to, they could eat all the human beings on the planet within a year.
Wow, that is scary. But it's also like a mind meld? Okay, we're going to eat some humans. Let's get some meat.
That's holy cow.
Yeah. I wonder, wow. So then, yeah, insects triple or quadruple the amount of humans on this planet easily. They're
way more than that.
Yeah.
You know how many different species of beetles there are?
It's probably thousands upon maybe millions. I don't know. Probably not millions.
Gosh, it's insane.
Life,
yeah.
Animals.
But yeah, it was one of those things where I just absolutely hate spiders.
All right.
And just something about them, man. They just make me cringe. Okay. And so, being deathly scared of spiders. One time we were going to, me and my family, when I was a kid, we went to go to Animal Planet, and I think you might see where this is going. We went to the show inside of the Tree of Life.
Oh, all right. I'm already there. Already there in my mind.
That's what's that show called? A bug.
It's tough to be a bug.
It's tough to be a bug. And so I'm in there, and I'm not a big fan of the 3D with seeing spiders on the screen. But then when the spiders drop from the ceiling, and these things are big, right? And it gets all black, and then you see red from the ceiling, and spiders drop down. My dad told me, he was like, "I've never seen you move that so fast." He's like, "You jumped off of the bench," and I just clung to my dad's leg.
Oh my gosh.
It was embarrassing. Especially for being a 21-year-old. That was awful.
But on rim shot.
Yeah, I know. I think I might have been 8 years old, or I think about 8 years old. Hold on.
All right.
Maybe I'm making myself sound bad. Maybe I might have been even 10.
Hey, it's your story. You tell it like it is.
So it was not good. I was absolutely terrified of that ride when I was younger. So yeah, that was.
Who wasn't, honestly? Because I was scared of that too. Especially when it pricks your back, the seat. I would always try my hardest to just sit up really straight and maybe at an acute angle.
Yeah.
So my back would not touch the back of the chair.
Yeah, so that was one of the stories that I have. That one was not a fun one for me. It's probably funny for my, it's still funny for my dad, but it was not funny for me. I did not like that one bit.
Yeah.
All right, Gregory, it's your turn.
Okay, so this one's a little bit more recent and one that I really do like to tell. And I'm sure some of you who might be listening had the chance to also participate in this, but it's being an extra in the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
AKA MGM. It'll always be MGM Studios to me.
MGM Studios.
Yes. It just, it flows off the mouth better.
MGM.
MGM. Hollywood Studios. See, less syllables. MGM.
I agree
with you. Anyway, right? Okay, so anyway, this was, again, probably like 3 years ago. And 3 years ago, probably what made it my 22nd or 23rd Disney trip. So ever since I was a youngin', back in the late 90s, we would make it a point to go and see the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular because it was one of our favorite attractions. Loved watching that. Who doesn't love Indy? So throughout the years, I was always very shy. Never really wanted to get a picture with Indy or Marion after the show, but every so often, like, my parents forced me to, which is good because now I actually have photos, with them as we're growing up. And then finally, when I sort of broke out of my shell about 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, you know what? I think it's cool to take it a step up and actually try to be an extra. And of course, the MC has to pick you within a sea of people. It's always packed. It's always packed. So I'm like, how am I going to stand out? So, it was just perfect timing because we came in late during the beginning of the attraction. So we were filing into our seat, and it was probably, they were trying to fit everybody in near the stage. So I was closer to the MC's line of view, and we were just all like, filing our way into the bleachers. And then that was when she actually, pointed to my section and said, okay, scream, let me know who wants to be an extra. And then literally without thinking, I just started raising my hands and like just swinging it, going crazy. My family's like, Greg, what are you doing? Stop, just sit down. So all of a sudden she's like, the guy in the red Millennium Falcon shirt. And then my family just stops and they look at me black jaw. They're like, she got picked. I'm like, excuse me. And then I walk back the opposite way to come out. And so of course, when you're brought onto the stage, they ask you to do something, like either stand on one foot, try to balance, do like a strut, like you're a model on a catwalk. But for me, they chose me for me to do my best goofy laugh. Mm-hmm. And for me, I've never really been a good impressionist, but I don't know, the magic was with me, man, that day. And when they put the mic to my mouth, I rattled off this really great goofy laugh. To this day, one of my brothers is like, they had you dubbed, man. They just put it on through the speakers and goofy laughed. I'm like, no, that was me. So that was pretty cool. I was like, I don't know what came over me. And I'm not going to do it right now because I'm going to just fail at it. So I'll spare you. And after that, yes, thank you. And then after that, they brought out the other people, and then they had us go up to wardrobe to get our fitting for our robes and turbans for the Cairo scene. Yeah. So we walked up there. They had me sign a little bit of, a little waiver that would, release them from any lawsuits if I were to get maybe, I don't know, singed from the fire that shoots out of the ground, things like that.
Now, how old were you when you did this?
This is like 3 or 4 years ago, so past math, I was like 22, 23.
Okay, so you were an adult. Okay, I was going to be like, wait a minute, how they would let a 12-year-old sign that? Because it's like,
no.
They're like, if it's a waiver, the adult needs to sign the waiver, not the kid.
Exactly. Disney's not playing by the rules. No, I'm just kidding. But I think they ask for anyone who's over the age of 18.
Okay.
Like, they won't pick anyone younger than that. So after I got fitted, they had us in a special little reserved bleacher section for the extras. And then once it was our turn, they called us back down. And for me, ever since I was young, I really wanted to be the one to do the death scene. As they're switching the scenes, just to pass the time, they bring one of the extras out and they actually do a death scene. And for the longest time, I mean, I thought about how to die on that stage. I'm like, should I go for like the quick and painful death? Should I go for the long and excruciating one where I'm walking all around? So I really dove into the psyche of this character that I was, playing, which was a Cairo merchant, if you will. And so they lined us up, and I was like puffing my chest out. I'm like, okay, come on, pick me. And unfortunately, come on. But unfortunately, they picked someone else. Like, bummer, man. And then at that time, they were still using the fake gun. So they shot him, and the guy just like plopped down. I'm like, really now? Really? I could have sold it. It could have been Oscar winning. And so that was a little bit of a letdown. But anyway, they had us sort of be in the Cairo marketplace, like looking at rugs or picking up fruit, things like that. So that was a ton of fun because I got to see Indy fight all of the bad guys with Marion in like a different point of view, literally 20 feet away from myself. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. It was awesome. It was just like so invigorating. And let me tell you, when he shoots at the truck to make it flip over and like the fire comes out, man, I think it singed off my eyebrows, man. It was so hot on the stage. It was so insanely hot. But I had the time of my life there. After that show, I went up. Of course, I got a picture with Indy and Marion. And then I went to one of the Indiana Jones gift shops and I got a sign. It's actually right here. Hold on. I got the Indiana Jones sign mug to commemorate it right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah. So whenever I look at this, I definitely remember my first ever extra experience. And then a quick little side note, about a couple years later, I waved my hand again during a different show and I get picked again.
Death scene this time?
No, they missed me by one. It was I'm like, dude, I'll trade you some dates. Come on, please, come on. So anyway, that was a ton of fun, but this time it was actually like last year. No, it was in January. So it was January 2020, and they sort of upped their game because for the extras, they actually gave you props to hold this time. I was like, ooh, okay, getting fancy. Okay, and then for the death scene, instead of the gun, they had the blow darts, the Jovitos blow darts. So still a lot of fun, but that death scene has eluded me. And by golly, I'm going to get it one of these trips. I'm going to get it.
By golly, gosh
by golly, I do say that's a great fact. I'm going to get it one of these trips.
Okay, I'm down with that. If people
cool. All right, well, that was...
You kind of went quiet, Greg. You're still quiet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now you're talking.
Good.
Nope, now you're quiet.
Elton John? Really? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
1, 2. Okay, good. I look like Elton John, right?
Just take him off.
They think it's gonna be a long, long time. The touchdown brings me around again too fast. I'm not the man. Okay, your eyes said it all. Whoa. Okay, I'm all done with that. Nice segue.
So,
what's yours, Chris? Lay it on us.
Well, I'm trying to think of how many I should say. All right. So I have another spider story. I won't bother saying this time. That once again had to do with Animal Kingdom, but this time it was not a show. It was a real tarantula. It was like, but it wasn't a regular tarantula. It was like a black and orange tarantula that was like huge.
Are those deadly?
I don't know.
I heard like the smaller, the deadlier.
No, but this was big. It was like, I think it's like some kind of like Australian bird-eating tarantula. Like it was huge. And so me and my wife got into a little bit of a spat that day.
Oh, goodness.
Because I was acting a little bit mean during some of our fights. So we got into a little bit of a fight. And my wife was upset. Hey, Stephanie! I don't know if she can hear me. I'm trying to figure out what I did
Take
wrong.
the risk. Oh, okay.
I don't know, but we went to the animal kingdom, and I think I have a video of it somewhere. I got to think of where I got it. I know I have the video. I'll find it and I'll post it.
Got evidence.
But we're walking into Animal Kingdom,
Okay.
and all of a sudden, like I see from a corner, I have my video camera. I'm just walking around, looking around, doing my thing, and then about, I don't know, I could see from like probably about 20 feet away. I see somebody holding a box, a clear box. Hey, babe.
What?
Come here for a second. I gotta ask you a question. You don't have
This
to
is
be on
life
the,
and death. This is important.
This is just a random question. You don't even have to be on the TV. It's not a TV. It's a computer.
On the TV. You have to be on the TV.
So, for those of you who don't know, I make my wife's life a living, not so fun.
Hockey stick.
HE double hockey stick. Reference to last week's episode.
Yeah, you got it. Disney Channel version movie.
So I'm talking about the second spider incident at Animal Kingdom, and this is the one when I made you mad.
Yeah,
What did I do the day before that made you mad?
my graduation.
Oh, it was a graduation thing. She finished her master's degree,
Okay.
and it was supposed to be a celebration at dinner, and I was just being a moody jerk, and my wife's giving me that look like, yes, you were. And so I was just upset that day. The heat was getting to me. I was just being a douche to my wife, which I am very sorry about. And my wife's amazing, and I'm just a turd face. No, that was not supposed to be a pun because my skin is brown. I get that. But
Didn't even cross my mind there, but you got
but
the point.
either way, so we're in Animal Kingdom. I see this clear box with a gigantic spider in it from like 30 feet away, and I just start bolting it past. I'm like, no, I do not even want to see that thing. My brother-in-law starts chasing me. My brother-in-law is bigger than me, but I'm faster than he was, so I started
Ooh.
bolting. And so my wife tries to catch up, and you can hear in the background, she's like, no, wait, come back here. And so she finally got me. She's like, okay, I'll leave the hole, you ruining my graduation thing, if you come back with me and you have to look at the spider for 30 seconds. And I was like, and this guy was holding the spider. He was trying to be so nice. He's like, it's very gentle. It won't hurt you. These are very like calm animals. They don't do anything because we're much bigger. It's gonna be fine. And so I see this spider crawling around in the box, right? Like just crawling. Just imagine my hand's a little spider. And I'm just like, and then it starts crawling up the glass. And I'm like, no, done. Screw that. Get it out of here. Burn it. Take a blowtorch and burn that thing.
Oh wow.
I don't even care.
Going off.
Pour battery acid on it if you need to. Nuke the place.
Well, this escalated quickly.
Destroy that thing. I was freaking out the second I started walking up the glass. Oh God, I'm still thinking about it. It gives me chills.
But was it 30 seconds? Did you make it to 30 seconds?
Stephanie, did I make it? No, I couldn't even make it 30 seconds. I was good for about like 10, and then it started crawling up the thing, and I was like, no, I'm done. Nope, that image of it crawling up, like, nope, God, no, because I had this image of it like crawling on my face. So like seeing the underbelly of it was just like, imagine like, oh, it's okay, and then imagine that thing crawling up, but for some reason my brain was like, oh, that's what it would look like if it was crawling on my face.
Except you have like all of like the fur and the bristles.
Oh, fuck. I'm trying to contain my language, but that just,
Okay.
God, I hate them.
How much would you have to get paid for them to put a spider on your shoulder? What would we have to promise you
My God.
for you to be okay with that?
Like a little daddy long, like a daddy long leg?
A tarantula.
Oh, fudge.
I'm gonna have to do some thinking on this.
Oh my God, no.
A fun exercise right now.
No, my wife thinks I probably have close to a phobia with this.
Oh no, I think you have arachnophobia for sure.
Well, no, I don't have arachnophobia because if there's a spider on the wall that's tiny, I can kill it. That's not the problem. So it's not a full-blown phobia. A phobia is completely paralyzing that you can't live your life normally.
I think maybe, yeah, it's a phobia. It's what the spider or the insect gets to a certain size.
No, a phobia. My wife's better
No,
at this.
no,
She's
no. I mean for you, it's like, is there like a certain size that where it's like, okay, like the spider is now this big, or
yeah,
is
like
it
so
how
for
it looks?
spiders, like if I see spiders like in the woods and they're like, this tiny, it's like, nah, that's all right. But as soon as they start getting to like this big, no, screw that.
Okay, you're out. You're done.
Done. Dunzo. I did landscaping
Game
before,
over.
and I would see spider webs. And just because I had no idea how big the spider was that made it, I would just avoid that section to do the landscaping because I hated it that much. Or I would
Just
take
the scenic route.
or I would take a weed whacker and just like
Oh my god.
no. Uh-uh. People
So,
are seeing
yeah,
a whole new.
Oh, that's so funny. Because at the lake, on our pier, there are a ton of spider webs everywhere. And it
That's
seems
actually
like
very
they just-
common, yeah.
Yeah, it's just everywhere from like the post to the ground, on our boat lifts. They're just everywhere.
No. Mm-mm.
And we actually have bats. We have bats out by our lake house, which is good because they eat the insects. So you should like that.
I'm down with bats. I don't mind.
Oh,
flying.
bats are fine, but I'm saying that they're your saviors because they eat the spider.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay, that was my second story. That wasn't even supposed to be my main story, but that turned into another main story.
It sort of did. It sort of did.
Well, it mainly was 2
Traumatic,
minutes of me freaking out of the idea. But all right, go ahead, Greg. Your turn.
Wow. All right. So this one happened at Pecos Bill's Tall Tale Inn and Tavern at
Ooh, Pecos
in-
Bill.
yes, at Frontierland and Magic Kingdom. So this one was all still probably around like the early 2010s, and we were just chilling by.
So you were in high school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think actually I just started college. So it was 2011. Yeah. So I just started my first year at UW. Warhawks, powered by tradition. Let's go.
All right,
and-
calm down.
Hey, my college, my university. So back to the story. We were just, I think, trying to formulate a game plan of where we were going to go, because I think we had Splash Mountain fast passes that weren't ready for probably another 30 minutes. We're like, okay, well, should we stay in Frontierland? Should we go to Tomorrowland? Maybe try to ride Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin? Should we do Pirates? So we were trying to figure out while one of my brothers went and got a churro. And my youngest brother, he is a churro fiend. He's obsessed with that. And he can eat like 20 churros a day down at Disney. That's like his diet, pretty much. So anyway, we're waiting for him to, right? But hey, you walk 10, 12 miles a day, you burn it right back off. So we're waiting for
Not
him
in
to get
Disney World. That's like the actual like. How is it that you can eat so much crap food, be sweating and walking 20 miles a day and still lose no weight and actually
Dude.
gain more weight?
No, dude, no. Well, see, for me, I'm the opposite. I lose weight when I go on Disney because I walk so much and I'm sweating. I lose probably like 2 to 3 pounds every trip.
You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think it's just my metabolism or something. I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
I do walk a lot. Yeah, so he was getting his churro. We were like all sitting around this one tree, and it was right out in front of Pecos Bill. And we saw this family. They came out with a tray with, their tacos, and I think there was a burger and some chicken. And they put it down on an outdoor table, and just perched up on one of the like open walls was, I think it was like a pelican or a stork or something like that. It was big and white, had a really long beak, and it was just eyeing that family's lunch. It was just eyeing it. Like he was not breaking the gaze. He was just looking down there. really like it was so eerie because he was not moving. And then
I have this weird image of what you're talking about.
okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so anyway, he's just staring down, just like, I'm gonna get their food. And then off to the side of him, 2 birds fly up, all right? And they're a little bit smaller, and they're gray birds. I don't know exactly what kind of breed or type they were, but they like flanked him. So now they're looking at the food. I'm like, something's gonna go down here. Something's gonna go down. It's gonna get real. And so I'm just trying to like watch this unfold. Like the family, like I think the mom and one of the sons went in to get, you know, like the condiments, things like that. So it was just the dad and his daughter there. And the daughter was on her phone and the dad was, I think, on like the Disney map. And so it was like unguarded food there. And then so I looked at that stork and he hops like one hop every like maybe 10-15 seconds. He's like just slowly getting like closer and closer to like the angle at which he's gonna go down and just dive bomb it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they're getting really still. Should I warn the family? Because like I don't know what's gonna happen, but again, like there's no guarantee that the bird is gonna get the food. Like I don't even know. Like maybe he just likes the way it looks. I don't know. So the bird, I saw the bird like extend its wings like this, like he's about to jump.
Yeah.
And then the mom comes out with the condiments with the son, and then the bird just like, oh, gets a little frazzled. And so she sits down, and then the bird like looks away, and then like he looks back, and then he hops a little bit closer. And I'm like, oh great, here it goes again. The family is completely oblivious, as they should be, because like, you know. And then mayhem strikes. Okay, like the snap of my fingers, the bird then just dives down, and then the two little ones are just like flying up above. Okay, so it's like a concerted effort. The stork comes down and hits the woman's head with its wing. So she's like, what's going on? And then she, by the time she was about to bite the burger, so she drops the burger, right? And so the stork was like, it was like a distraction. And then the two birds, one of the small ones picks up the bottom bun, and the other one picks up the actual meat patty and the other bun, and then they just fly back. And then the stork then just like looks at the mom and then like flies back up, and then all three of them like come back together. They rendezvous and they just start pigging out on this burger. And then the mom's like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my god! And she runs back inside. And by that time, I'm just like dying right now, and I'm the only one who's watching this out of my family. And they're like, Greg, what are you doing? I'm like, these three birds just attacked a woman for a hamburger, and it was like they were doing like a dog fight in the air. Like I could just see them like just like conniving, like, okay, here's the perfect plan, guys. When she sits down and about to take a bite, we die, we get it. And then it happened. It was so funny. Like thankfully nobody was hurt, but yeah, the birds got a free hamburger out of it, and the woman probably, you know, was a little too frazzled for her own good.
Nice.
Yep. And then we got a churro, and then we went on Splash Mountain and got wet. So there you go.
Fun.
Yeah, that's the story.
So, so what time is it here? Because
does anybody really know what time it is?
We've been going at this for about 30 minutes, and I think we each got a lot more stories to go through.
What? Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
So how about this? How about you each do one story each? One more, because then we can save some more for later, for a different episode.
Sure.
All right.
All right, Chris, you're up.
I'll do one here. Okay. That oh man. Dang, this is tough. Okay. I will pick one of my favorite memories, because there's a conglomeration of some that I have that
good word. I like that word, conglomeration.
That I'll wait until later to do. So here's one. So me and my wife were planning on going to Disney. I think this was the summer of 2012. I was like, wait, when did we get married? I know I got engaged the summer before we got married. Okay, so it was summer of 2012, and we were at Disney. Now, I had bought the ring beforehand, and one of my close friends and his girlfriend came down with us, and then we were down with my wife's family. So we had this whole thing planned out, and I called Disney like a week in advance saying, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing, you know, can you guys help me? And they're like, yeah, just go down to the guest service and tell them what you want to do the day you get there or the week you get there and whatever, and they'll help you plan something out. So I called multiple days out of the week just to confirm, like, can we do this? Can we do this? And everybody's like, yeah. So we get down to Disney in the beginning of the week. I go there and they're like, yeah, we can do something. And they're like, just let us know a little bit closer towards the date. So I think this was like, what day was it? I think it was like a Wednesday. I go to the service desk and they're like, no, we can't do anything. We can give you a pin and help you out. And I was like, what?
Give you a pin.
Dude,
Make it all better with a pin.
Dude, I wanted to do something fun for my wife's engagement. So that didn't happen. So I was getting very bummed, and I was trying to see who else could I talk to, what else could I do, and I didn't think it was gonna be. So I was like, okay, I might end up just being able to propose somewhere at Disney World, and she might enjoy it. Well, it just so happened there was a parade going on, or a little show going on. And I saw this guy there, and he had two headsets in, like one in each ear. So I was like, oh, this guy's got to be super important.
Yeah, going hardcore.
So I go up to him and I talk to him because he was one of the guys that, like, at the end, like, he was radioing, making sure everything was going well, coordinating everything. So I was like, okay, so it looks like this guy might know something that he could do, or even if it wasn't anything big, might be able to be like, hey, we'll stop the show, come back tomorrow, same time, we'll stop the show, we'll let you do something. Something small like that. I was like, okay. So I go up to him and was like, okay, let me get your number and I'll see what I can do. And I'll call you later today. And I was like, okay. So I didn't have super high hopes because I was like, oh man, this guy's busy. He's not gonna do anything. I thank him for at least being, nice to me and, trying to make me feel better. But then he calls me later that day. He's like, okay, so here's what I got planned. You guys got to get here right away in the morning for rope drop. I was like, okay, we haven't been done rope drop in a while, and my friends who have never been to Disney, they've never seen rope drop. So I was like, let's wake up early, do rope drop, and whatever. So I and mind you, I told everybody in the family the plan, and my wife was the only one who didn't know. So we had to get there early at rope drop, and he's like, and then what's going to happen is the trolley is going to come pick you up at their train station area in the front. I was like, okay. And so, we get there and he's like, and so I told my family, I told my in-laws, I'm like, you guys got to pretend like you're in a fight, like we're arguing over what we want to do, which is going to take a lot of time until the trolley gets here. So we're spending like 15 minutes like just trying to argue between all of ourselves. My wife was getting very upset. She said, I just want to go do something. This is a waste of time. Whatever. And then the trolley comes, and this is something else that told me. Here's what I'm going to have happen. When the trolley gets there, I'm going to have the Dapper Dancers on the trolley.
Ooh, the Dapper Dance.
So
nice.
They were there. They got us onto the trolley. They were doing their whole acapella thing. We were the only ones on the trolley with them as they were singing out to everybody. We were the first ones there. So it was really cool. Well, maybe the first ones on the trolley. No, maybe not the first. I think maybe I can't remember. But we were definitely on the top of the trolley. So they were doing their thing. We got off the trolley. Mind you, this was 2012. August. So this is not like it is now when, like, no matter what time of the day and what time of the year, this was still when it was early enough when you got to do a ton of time. So we get up in front of the Magic Castle, and there's really nobody there. So they get us out, and they're saying, hey, do you guys want to listen to the song? Hey, you, and they point at me and the guy who's like managing everything, like talked to Ray, he's kind of there, and he's like, yeah, who do you want us to sing to? I was like, oh, I'll have you sing to that, all that stuff. And the nice thing is, my wife didn't think anything of it because the day before I got picked in the Pirates of the Caribbean area, when Jack Sparrow picks out all the little pirates and whoever wants to be a pirate, because I raised my hand, I'm like, I want to be a pirate, I love Jack Sparrow, all that stuff. So he picked me, and I was part of the little show, which was weird because I was the only adult with a bunch of little kids, whatever. It was funny. So my wife didn't think anything else. She was like, oh, Chris, you should be YouTube. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can actually watch the whole thing from the moment you get onto the trolley or on it, and then all the way to the end where I propose and get the pictures and all that stuff. You get to watch the cast for a little bit. So it was really cool. That was one of the best experiences of my wife's life, because I always told her, I always knew that I was going to propose to my future wife in front of the Magic Kingdom, and that's what she always wanted. So one day when we were dating, we were at my place and we were just talking, and I told her this when we were just friends. We weren't even dating at the time. We were just hanging out as friends. And I told her that, and she knew in her mind, she said, "Oh man, I'm going to have to marry this guy," because that's exactly what she wanted, and that's what I wanted. So it's cool that that actually came to fruition in a really cool way.
Cool. Dreams do come true. That's awesome.
So yeah, you top that one, sucker.
You know what? I don't think I can. I can only tell you what my next story is, and this is one that involves the Disney Cruise Line.
See, you have me beaten some areas. I've never been on Disney Cruise. Dude,
it's awesome. Yeah, I've gone on 4 Disney cruises. I've only gone on the Disney Dream boat, which honestly,
wasn't that the first one?
Dream, man. I think the Dream was no. The first one
was it?
Fantasy and Wonder, or Magic. Yeah,
Disney Magic and Disney Fantasy, I think.
Yeah, because 2 were made, and then they waited a couple years, and then another 2 were made, and the Dream was one of the more recent ones. And they're looking to make 2 more in the next couple of years, which is pretty cool. I think one of them is named the Disney Wish, and then it will have Rapunzel on the bow.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4 trips on the Disney Dream, and this sort of quickly spans 3 out of 4 of them, because the first time we were just trying to get an understanding of the cruise life and what we could do on the boat, so everything was just new and amazing. But for the second trip, I realized that with our certain agenda or where we go, we always choose like I think it's a 4-day 3-nighter. It's not the full week one, because honestly for me, I probably get too antsy on a boat. So for me, I just like doing maybe half a week cruise, and then I can like hop the parks and finish off a week strong in the parks. But anyway, so we're on the Disney Dream. We sail out of Port Canaveral in Florida, and then we make our way to Nassau, I do believe. So it's like a day at sea. We go to Nassau. We have the day there, port of call, and then the next day we travel to Disney's Castaway Cay Island.
Yep.
It's their own private island. They actually don't own it. They're renting it for like 100 years, and the lease is up in, I don't know, like 2050 or something.
Yeah.
They actually shot part of Pirates of the Caribbean there, as well as Flash and a couple other movies. So it was really cool to see that. And anyway, we dock there, and that's when I learned that when we dock at their private island, at the morning of that day, they hold a 5K race or run. And for me, I'm a huge runner, and especially being cooped up in a boat for 2.5 days already, like I'm pretty raring to go and trying to stretch my legs. So I was like, yeah, let's definitely do this 5K, see what happens. And so a ton of people come in, and that was a great experience. I ended up getting first in that 5K. Honestly, I was surprised, because there were other people that looked more like a runner than myself. Like they were like stretching. They had like the really lightweight running wear, things like that. But yeah, I ended up getting first, and then about 2 years later, we go on another cruise, and then I do the 5K again. And then, well, I'm a very competitive person with myself. Like I always want to one up myself from the last time I do something. It's sort of hard to do better than first place, so I was like, I have to get first again. And during the second time around, I get second. I mean, I get first again for a second time. So 2 5Ks, 2 first places. And then my most recent cruise, I was like, okay, we're doing it again. This is like 2 years ago. And I was like, I have to do a trifecta. I have to do the hat trick, get 3 firsts in a row. And by then, like I've had a couple under my belt. and I was just trying to scope out the competition. There was this one cross country runner. He was actually training while the ship was, at sea, all the stuff. He was running around the ship. I'm like, okay, this guy, if he's not doing the 5K, I don't know who will, because like this guy, he looks like a runner, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set my sights on this guy. So the day comes, and we're at registration. We sign up, and sure as the sun rises, the guy was there. He was probably like in his early 20s, a little bit younger than me, probably a collegiate runner, things like that. And I'm like, okay, this guy, he's gonna definitely test me. And I was feeling like this guy was going to win. And so we do the starting gate, or we get to the start line. And actually, before we do that, we're making our way up. You have to probably walk like half a mile from the boat to the starting line. And then, but first I went into the bathroom, to just get ready, get mentally prepared. And as I'm in the bathroom, this old man comes next to me in the stall. And then without like anything like, hi, hey, how's it going? Like he just turns to me and says, you know what? Back in the day when I would go to the races, I bet on the dog that will go to the bathroom before the race because he usually will win. My money's on you, kid. And then he like taps me on the shoulder and he leaves. I'm like,
thank you.
Okay, thanks. Like, what are you doing? And so like that creeped me out a little bit. But anyway.
Was that after he touched his stuff, or did he not touch his stuff? Hopefully he didn't with that hand.
Yeah, hopefully he didn't. See, that's what I'm wanting to believe. And so anyway, I go back out. I get to the starting line, and I see him there. And then there are a couple people that, I think I was sort of gauging that would, give me a run for my money, no pun intended. And so they fire it off. The thing that I think so we before we went off the boat, they sort of gave us a rundown of where the course is. So they gave us like a bird's eye view of a map. Like, okay, run here, go around the watchtower, down this runway strip and back. It's a lot easier when they're showing it to you than when you're actually running, on the island. And for me, I've already ran that course 2 times before, so I know where it goes. The first time I actually ran it, I took a wrong turn and I got lost a little bit. And that allowed me, to really just kick it up. And I was actually surprised that I won. But anyway, third race, the most recent one, it starts going. This kid just books. He is like running. His strides are long. He's going really fast. I'm like, wow, he is so far ahead of me. But for me, I like to pace myself. Like I do a nice paceful, I guess, stride. Nothing too fast, nothing too slow, because by the end I'm not as gassed as some of the people, so I can make some headway. So he's yards and yards and yards away from me, and during the first turn I see him take the opposite turn. I'm like, this noob. And then so I actually catch up to him, and by that time there are a couple of cast members like, it's that way. And so the kid sort of runs back, and then that's when he like catches up with me, and then he starts to get ahead of me a little bit. And honestly, that was probably like maybe a quarter of the race in. So we still have like a little under 3 miles to go. And so it was just him and me back and forth, and I didn't want to get him out of my sight. So I was trying to play this strategically, and there was just one part where it's just a long, straight strip. It's just like, it was actually a landing strip for planes back in the day. It was nice and straight. So he was far ahead of me. And I during that strip, I caught up to him, and then I started drafting him. I was like right behind him, because I didn't really want to give away my hand on how fast or how much energy I still had left. So I was just drafting him right behind him. And then when we were about maybe 100, 200 yards away, I was like, okay, like I don't want him to kick it into gear. I sort of want to, put my stamp on it. So I was waiting.
The suspense is killing me.
And so we were running around this big curve, and it was just lush, full with vegetation. So I couldn't really see over it. And in my mind's eye, I was like, okay, once I turn, it's probably going to be maybe 25 more yards left. And then boom, the finish line. because the finish line was different than the starting line a little bit. And so I was like, now's the time for me to just kick it into turbo. And so as we're running around this curb, I all of a sudden peel out from behind him and then just rush past. I'm like, I got this. And then after we complete the turn, I'm like, shoot, it's like about a football field and a half. I'm like, I gave away my hand. And I'm just like now in this frantic mode. I'm struggling. I'm running. And so a little bit of key advice, a key piece of this story was I usually like running, listening to music. Like that gets me pumping, that gets me going. And just on a whim, well, not on a whim, my iPod decides to die before the race. I'm like, shoot, okay, well, I'm not going to listen to music. And so fast forward to about 100 yards away from the finish line. I'm giving it my all. I could feel this guy just right on my tail. And I, thankfully, because I didn't have my buds in, I wasn't listening to music, I could hear his footfalls behind me. That allowed me to get, to sort of get my second win. So like, we're like neck and neck. And then all of a sudden he just like gets this burst of energy. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I also try to compensate to match his speed. And then we're literally like a couple of feet away from the finish line. And then I lunge forward. I beat him by a second. It was so close.
Gosh.
He had my number. He had my number. If the finish line was probably maybe 20 feet longer, he probably would have overcame me. But it was like almost a photo finish. After that race, I felt so good. And I was thankful that my iPod died, because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have heard him for me to, give that extra oomph. And also, I was thankful that he took the wrong turn, because that killed his time. That probably, that allowed me to catch up to him during the first leg. So that was a ton of fun. But in the moment, it wasn't, because, I was trying to keep pace with this guy, and he knew how to run. And for me, like I was never a competitive runner. So for me to keep up with him, it was a rough 5K. But I ended up getting my best time. It was like 18 minutes and 40 seconds or something on a 5K. I don't think I'll ever beat that. And honestly, if I go on a cruise again, I don't know if I'm going to run, just because I know that like it won't be as enjoyable, and I'm only going to want to get first. But again, I guess if I'm actually on a cruise, I'm probably just going to go ahead and do it again, knowing me. But yeah, that's my story and how I got my third first in a row. And it was a nail biter, that was for sure.
Oh man, the suspense was coming. I was like, oh man, what if he beats him? Oh, we're leading up
like,
to
what if I trip?
Man, you got me believing, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, and he beat me by half a second. I was going to be like, oh.
Right, I know. It was just perfect timing, though, because like I said, if the finish line...
You drew me into the story, though, sir. You drew me in.
Thank you. I've been working on my storytelling. Glad it's paying off.
All right, you guys, let's see what time it is right now. Oh, my gosh, it is 10:35.
Otherwise known as Disney O'Clock.
We're about 50 minutes into this episode.
Woo!
That went long. That's all right, though.
It did.
All right, you guys, we're going to hold off on any more stories because we want to have some more for later. Obviously, haven't been there a while. We have a lot. Hopefully, my brain can pull them out.
Well, hopefully we whetted your appetite. You want to learn, you want to know more of our stories, and we also want to hear from you, too. Let us know what some of your favorite Disney memories are.
Exactly. So make sure you comment below, like, subscribe, all of which we are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those things. Please make sure you do. And we're on
iTunes. We're on Spotify.
iTunes, yes.
Yes. So make sure that you write us a review. Give us those 5 stars, because this is the Disney magic, baby. This is where you get your Disney fix.
And then, guys, a couple things here. I'm trying to work on getting the first video edited of Sam's cooking tutorial. We started off with something very simple, and I just want to have you guys remember, I am not a professional videographer. I am not a professional photographer. I'm not a professional editor. This is what I do in my free time, just for fun. on top of everything else that we do.
Oh,
So
it's gonna look great. It's gonna look great.
we'll see what we
I'm
can do,
excited for it.
and hopefully more and more down the road I can keep growing in that. But it's gonna be fun. And then I did find, which me and Greg want to talk about one day, but I told Greg we can't talk about it until I get the video edited for this other one. I thought I lost, but I found some of the pretty much all the videos that I took and pictures I took when me and my wife went to Victoria and Albert's. So I thought I lost everything, but I
The
found
Holy
it.
Grail. The Holy Grail.
So once I get that video edited as well, we will do a whole podcast episode on that. Plus, I will drop the video at the same time. So it will be a fun time moving forward in the future, you guys. And then hopefully me and Greg will be back together to record soon. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
Yes.
Greg got some new lighting in for the videos.
Yes.
It's gonna be good.
We're gonna be popping. We're gonna be popping with all those LED lights. It's great.
Hopping.
Popping. P-O-P.
All right, you guys. It was fun. We will talk to you guys later. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night, day, afternoon, whenever you watch this.
Whenever, do what you do.
Man. Yeah.